Hello everyone, this is Asra Sultana, Assistant Professor, AAA Department, working in ISL Engineering College. So previous classes we have seen about the complete block diagram of a load frequency control of a single area case. So we have combined the three models, that is governor model, turbine model and generator model, and altogether it is forming the complete block diagram of a load frequency control of an isolated power system. So previous class we have seen about the steady state analysis, and now in today's class I am going to discuss about dynamic response. So to obtain the dynamic response of load frequency control, of isolated power system, giving the change in frequency as a function of time, and for each step change in load we have to obtain the Laplace inverse transform of equation delta f of s equal to minus kps by 1 plus tps s plus ksg kt kps by r by 1 plus tsg s into 1 plus tts into p delta pd by s. So this we have obtained while deriving the steady state analysis. Okay, so we are going to take the inverse Laplace transform of the above equation. So characteristic equation, which is of third order, dynamic response can be obtained for a specific numerical case. So we are approximating the characteristic equation as first order by examining the relative magnitudes of time constants involved. So what are these typical values of time constants? We are taking certain value of Tt, and that should be the Tt should be less than Tsg and less than Tps, and it should be greater than Tsg. That is, Tt should lie between Tsg and Tps. So typically we are taking the values of Tsg, Tt and Tp as 0.4 seconds, 0.5 seconds and 20 seconds. So first order approximate block diagram of load frequency control of an isolated area we are drawing here. And so here this block is become 1. This is kps by 1 plus tps into s. This is delta pgs minus delta pds, and this will be the feedback, that is minus 1 by r into delta pc of s. So let tsg is equal to tt equal to 0. So ksg into kt is nearly equal to 1. So this we can write delta f of s equal to minus kps by 1 plus kps by r plus tps into s into delta pd by s. And we can take now the inverse Laplace transform and converting this delta f of s into delta f of t. So minus r kps by r plus kps into 1 minus e power minus t by tps r by r plus kps into delta pd. Now we are taking r equal to 3, kps is equal to 1 by b, and tps is equal to 20, and delta pd is 0.01 per unit. All the values are per unit values here. So delta f of t can be found by substituting all the values. In this equation we are substituting the values of r, kps, tps and delta pd, and obtaining the value of delta f of t as minus 0.029 into 1 minus e power minus 1.717. Now delta f at steady state is given as minus 0.029 Hertz. So plot of changing frequency versus time for first order approximation can be shown like this. So in this diagram we can see the dynamic response of changing frequency for a step changing load, and we have to mention the values also here. That is delta pd is 0.01 per unit, tsg is 0.4 seconds, tt is 0.5 second, tps is 20 seconds, kps is 100, r is equal to 3. So here we can see time versus frequency we are plotting. X-axis is time and y-axis is frequency. So dotted line is showing the first order approximation and the thick line is showing the exact response. Now let us see the control area concept. So we are dividing an extended power system into sub areas where all the generators are coupled together and they are forming a coherent group. So this also already we have discussed in previous classes also, that they are working at a time. All the generators are starting and ending at a time. Then it is called as a coherent group. So all the generators respond in unison to changes in load or speed changes setting. Then that group is called as coherent group. Okay. So such an area where there is a coherent group in which the frequency is assumed to be same or constant is called as control area. Okay. So we are telling that there is a group of generators which are tightly coupled to each other, where any changes in load or speed changer settings will enable all the generators to work at a time. That is, all the generators, they together will support each other and they will try to respond to the changes in load together. Then that group is called as coherent group, and the area in which coherent group is existing and the frequency is remaining constant throughout in static as well as dynamic conditions is called as control area. So for purpose of developing a suitable control strategy, control area can be reduced to a single speed governor, turbo generator and load system. So already we have seen for a single area system, what we have done there, we have divided the control area into three categories. That is, one is governor operation, then generator, then load. Okay. All the control strategies, whatever we have discussed, are applicable to an independent control area. Now let us see the proportional plus integral control. So speed governing system installed on each machine, steady load frequency characteristics settings has a considerable droop. Okay. So already we have seen that in the previous classes. Okay. So for example, for the system being used for the illustration above, that is, steady state drooping frequency will be 2.9 Hz from no load to full load. So system frequency specifications are stringent and therefore so much change in frequency cannot be tolerated. So frequency changes cannot be tolerated. So it is expected that steady change in frequency will be 0. While steady state frequency can be brought back to the scheduled value by adjusting speed changer settings, system can undergo intolerable dynamic frequency changes with changes in load. So we can bring the steady state frequency setting by changing the speed changer setting, but we cannot adjust the dynamic frequency changes. Okay. So steady state can be obtained by changing the speed changer setting, but the dynamic state cannot be obtained whenever there are changes in the load. So it will lead to the that speed changer setting will be adjusted automatically by monitoring the frequency changes. So what we are doing here, a signal delta F will be fed through an integrator to the speed changer. Okay. So what we are doing here, proportional plus integral, what we are doing here, we are sending we are giving a feedback as delta F through an integrator to the speed changer, resulting in the like this block diagram. Okay. Now system will modify to proportional plus integral controller, so which is giving us a zero steady state error, that is delta F at steady state is equal to 0. like this. So we are giving a delta f feedback to the integrator, to the speed changer, and hence we are going to get the zero steady state error. Okay. Now the signal data PC generated by integral control must be of opposite sign to delta f of s. So delta f of s is equal to how much? We know this formula, that is minus kps by 1 plus tps s, plus from block diagram we are finding out delta f of s. kps by 1 plus tps s plus 1 by r plus ki by s into kps by 1 plus tsg into s into 1 plus tts into delta pd by s. So delta f at steady state is equal to delta f s tends to 0 is equal to 0. So steady state change in frequency has been reduced to 0 by addition of integral controller. So delta f reaches steady state value, that is a constant value, only when delta pc is equal to delta pd is equal to constant. Because of integrating action of the controller, this is only possible if delta f is equal to 0. So in central load frequency control of a given control area, the error or change in frequency is known as area control error, ACE. Okay. So what is area control error? The change in frequency or the error in frequency in a central load frequency control of a given control area is called as area control error. So additional signal feedback in the modified control scheme will be the integral of ACE. Okay. So area control error, see here. So this is showing the dynamic response of load frequency controller with and without integral control action. So area control error, which is 0 under steady state condition. So a design criterion will be the minimization of integration of ACE dt for a step disturbance. So this integral will be the time error of synchronous electric clock run from the power supply. So modern power systems will track this integrated time error all the time, and a corrective action will be taken by large station in that area as soon as the time error exceeds some prescribed value. Okay, if the error is exceeding that value, immediately action will be taken. Okay, so the dynamics of proportional plus integral controller we can study numerically. The system is of fourth order, and the order of the system will be increased by 1 with the addition of integral loop. Okay, the order can be increased by the addition of integral loop, and dynamic response of proportional plus integral controller with Ki is 0.09 per step load disturbance of 0.01 per unit can be obtained through a digital computer, and that we have plotted here on the graph, that time versus frequency. That is, the dotted line is showing without integral control action, and the bold line is showing the with integral control action. Okay, so here we are inserting all the values delta PD, delta TSG, TT, TPS, KPS, R and KI. So by taking all these values, I got the plot time versus frequency as with and without integral control action. Load frequency control and economic dispatch control. So load frequency control with integral controller will achieve zero steady state error and fast dynamic response, but it will not have control over the relative loading of various generating stations of control area. So what we are telling here, that we have achieved the case where steady state error is 0 and we are getting a fast dynamic response, but if there are changes in load, then there is no control over the changes in the load of various generating stations. That is the concept of economic dispatch. Okay. So, for example, if a sudden small increase in load, say 1% occurs in control area, load frequency control changes and the speed changes settings of governor of all generating units of the area all changes. So, these units will match the load and frequency returns to the scheduled value. So, this action can take place in a few seconds. Okay. So so with the change in load frequency changes, the speed changes setting, and this has to match the load and the frequency. Okay, this is happening in a very small fraction of time. But the process of change in the loadings of various generating units change in a manner independent of economic loading consideration. Some units may even get overloaded. Okay, so we are doing this. This can be done. That is, if there are changes in the load, so we can set according to the changes in the load our generators. But sometimes what will happen? It will get overloaded. So overloading of individual loadings can be exercised by adjusting the gain factor. Okay, Ki. Ki can be adjusted and that is included in the signal representing integral of area control error as per two individual units. However, this is also not that much satisfactory. So this is the control area, load frequency and economic dispatch control, where we can see here this is a power system control area, and these two diagrams are same. So like this we can have dot here it is seen here, like that we can have many systems connected to a power system control area. This entire thing is one system and this entire thing is one area. Okay, that is, this is speed changer, governor, turbine and generator set connected to a local EDC. Then here minus Ki by S can be changed to meet the desired load demand. Then again here we can add one more system. Okay, this is a single area, this is a two area, then again and so on, one more area can be added, and so on, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so according to our requirements. Okay, this is the control area, load frequency and economic dispatch control diagram. Now let us see the load frequency control and economic dispatch control. So what we are telling, that we are not getting a satisfactory solution, but a satisfactory solution can be achieved by using independent control for load frequency and economic dispatch. So how it can be achieved? Load frequency control is fast acting control and regulates the system around an operating point. So the economic dispatch controller is a slow acting control which adjusts the speed changes setting every minute in accordance with the command signal generated by the central economic dispatch computer. So what we are doing is we are getting a satisfactory solution by taking into consideration the economic dispatch controller here. Economic dispatch controller. So it is acting like a feedback and it will regulate the system. Okay, and it will adjust the speed changer setting every minute according to the command signal which is generated by the central economic dispatch computer. Okay, so this figure is giving us the schematic diagram of both the controls for two typical units of a control area. So the signal to change the speed changer setting will be constructed in accordance with the economic dispatch error, that is PG desired minus PG actual. So desired minus actual and which can be modified by signal representing integral ACE at that instant of time. Okay, so we are giving a feedback here, that is PG desired minus PG actual. Desired minus actual, that is then that will be given to the local EDC, and it will be modified by the signal representing integral ACE. Okay, here integral ACE dt at that instant of time. So PG desired is computed by the central economic dispatch computer, and that is CEDC. Okay, CEDC is the central economic dispatch computer in which the signal PG desired will be computed and it will be transmitted to the local economic dispatch controller EDC, which will be installed at each station. So system will operate with economic dispatch error only for a short period of time before it can be readjusted. Okay students, thank you everyone for watching the video. Next class I will be telling about the two area load frequency control. So single area it is completed. Now in the next class we will see the two area frequency control. Thank you everyone for watching the video.